This year, the first black woman appointed to a permanent role as a judge in Texas died at the age of 96. Harriet Murphy was a judge, a civil rights activist, and a game changer for diversity at the University of Texas Law School. Investigative reporter Kelly Wiley shows how even in death, her impact still ripples across the country.
Judge Harriet Mitchell Murphy's portrait hangs among the images of dozens of other decorated UT Law School graduates. But in 1966, when the 37-year-old widow enrolled at UT, she stood alone as the only black student in her class. Her path to UT Law paved by black students before her, starting with Heman Sweat in 1950. He won entry to what was then the all-white law school at UT in a landmark Supreme Court case. Although he opened the door to integration, Sweat grew too sick to graduate himself.
The conditions were so deplorable. They put an outhouse in the courtyard for him to be able to go and use the bathroom. He could not buy food in the cafeteria, but had to bring his lunch. He became physically ill, emotionally and mentally.
And in the years between Sweat's departure in 1952 and Murphy's enrollment in 1966, only a handful of black students graduated. At one point, Murphy was not just the only black student in her class, but the only black student in the entire law school. At the time, her longtime friend and mentee, Arleas Upton Kea, said Murphy told her she felt she had little to no support.
She told us that there were some who actually said to her, "You will never graduate from law school, and you will never pass the bar."
At the moment when many would feel discouraged, Murphy pushed through and pulled in other black students with similar dreams. In her memoir, Judge Murphy recounts how she and her white classmate started to recruit black students to UT Law from HBCUs like Prairie View University and Jarvis Christian College, saying, "We netted 12 or 13 student recruits for the fall of 1968.
I think that she felt that she had to do something, that she was positioned to do something. She always saw an opportunity to make a difference, an opportunity to make a change.
And in 1969, with more black faces in the hallways, she graduated UT Law and passed the bar. She went on to make history as the first black woman in Texas appointed a permanent judgeship in 1973. She served for nearly 2 decades on Austin's municipal court.
Harriet just never met an obstacle or a problem that could not be resolved. And she did that in a very, very positive way.
Judge Murphy's mind and heart was always with UT, even in her last conversation with a dear friend.
That last meeting was so very special. I had come to her home from a scholarship award luncheon. And consistent with her being a teacher and sharing information and her experiences, she wanted to know, who are the students? It reminded me of the questions that she had asked when she met with me and the other pre-law students almost 50 years ago. And I think one of her biggest concerns was that she not be the last, and that door be permanently opened for other people like her.